Gopi Jana Balava Girivanidhari Jaya Gopi Jana Balava Girivanidhari Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Srimad Iskcon founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem Shri Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Rajabhumi Vrindavan Dham ki Shri Dham Mayapur ki Ganga Mai ki Yamuna Mai ki Bhakti Devi ki Tulsi Maharani ki Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskricha Naram Cha Eva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasa Tator Jayamudirayat Nasta Preshu Abhideshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamar Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from the third canto, chapter 7, text 11, Further Inquiries by Vidura. Yata jale chandramasaha kampadistat krito gunaha drishyate sanapi drashtur Atmano natmano gunaha Yata jale chajamasa Kampadistat krito gunaha Drishyate sanapi drashtur Atmano natmano gunaha Yata jale chandramasa Kampadistat krito gunaha Drishyate sanapi drashtur Natmano gunaha Yata jole chanamasa Kampadastat krito gunaha Drishyate sanapi drashtur Atmano natmano gunaha Yata jole chandramasa Kampadistat krito gunaha Drishyate sanapi drashtur Atmano natmano gunaha Yata jale chandramasa Kampadistat krito gunaha Drishyate sanapi drashtur Atmano natmano gunaha Yata as jale in the water chandramasaha of the moon kampadihi quivering tatkritaha done by the water gunaha quality drishyate it is so seen asanapi without existence drashtuhu of the seer atmanaha of the self anatmanaha of other than the self gunaha quality. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. As the moon reflected on water appears to the seer to tremble due to being associated with the quality of the water, so the self associated with matter appears to be qualified as matter. Please repeat. As the moon reflected on water appears to the seer to tremble due to being associated with the quality of the water, so the self associated with matter appears to be qualified as matter. The Supreme Soul, the personality of Godhead, is compared to the moon in the sky, and the living entities are compared to the reflection of the moon on water. The moon in the sky is fixed and does not appear to quiver like the moon on the water. Actually, like the original moon in the sky, The moon reflected on the water should also not quiver. But because of being associated with water, the reflection appears to be quivering. Although in actual fact, the moon is fixed. The water moves, but the moon does not move. Similarly, the living entities appear to be tainted by material qualities like illusion, lamentation, and miseries. Although in the pure soul, such qualities are completely absent. The word pratīyate, which means apparently and not actually, like the experience of having one's head cut off in a dream, is significant here. The reflection of the moon on the water is the separated rays of the moon and not the actual moon. The separated parts and parcels of the Lord entangled in the water of material existence have the quivering quality, whereas the Lord is like the actual moon in the sky, which is not at all in touch with water. The light of the sun and moon reflected on matter makes the matter bright and praiseworthy. The living symptoms are compared to the light of the sun and the moon illuminating the material manifestations like trees and mountains. The reflection of the sun or moon is accepted as the real sun or moon by less intelligent men. And the pure monistic philosophy develops from these ideas. In fact, the light of the sun and the moon are actually different from the sun and moon themselves, although they are always connected. The light of the moon spread throughout the sky appears to be impersonal. But the moon planet as it is personal. And the living entities on the moon planet are also personal. In the rays of the moon, different material entities appear to be comparatively more or less important. The light of the moon on the Taj Mahal appears to be more beautiful than the same light in the wilderness. Although the light of the moon is the same everywhere, due to being differently appreciated, it appears differently. Similarly, the light of the Lord is equally distributed everywhere. But due to being differently received, it appears to be different. One should not, therefore, accept the reflection of the moon on the water as actual and misunderstand the whole situation through monistic philosophy. The quivering quality of the moon is also variable. When the water is standing still, there's no quivering. A more settled conditioned soul quivers less. But due to material connection, the quivering quality is more or less present everywhere. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jnana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangur Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tanaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarina. Hare Krishna. So Maitreya Muni is explaining to Vidura the basic philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattvam, that we are simultaneously one and different from Krishna. So here he's comparing Lord Krishna to the moon, and the reflection or the rays of the moon reflecting on the water as the conditioned soul. And of course, in conclusion, the Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas are saying that there's different states of quivering. That is indicating that there's different coverings of the soul by the modes of material nature. Karmana sukritasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam. Rajasa stu phalam dukam agyana tamasa phalam. That activities in the mode of goodness purifies the heart. Satvikam nirmalam phalam. The fruit of sattvic behavior, sattvic thoughts, and sattvic speech is that the heart becomes purified as compared to Rajasa gun and Tamagun. In Rajagun, the fruit of one's thoughts and words and actions is dukam, or misery. And what to speak, mode of ignorance, agyana tamasa phalam. Unfortunately, modern day society, they do not know this great Rajavidya, this king of knowledge. They have no idea of what or who they are. So our duty, of course, is to become Krishna conscious and then give it to others. Yari deke tarikaha Krishna upadesh. Amara Jnana Guru Hana Yadesh. Become a spiritual master, deliver all the fallen souls. So we know in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna warns Arjuna. First of all, he says, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukasya kantikasya cha. In the 14th chapter, he's telling Arjuna that that Brahman which these monists are aspiring for, that I am the very foundation of that Brahman. The entire Brahma Jyoti described by Lord Brahma is emanating from Krishna's transcendental body. And so the foolish monists are saying, oh, because God is light and Brahman is God, by word jugglery, I am God. Of course, Shankaracharya in his Sharirakya Bhashya, he expounded on this impersonalist philosophy to defeat the Buddhists who said that the void is full. In other words, everything nirvishesh, there's no form, there's no desire. We become desireless, which is impossible because the soul is always active. Doimo purusho loke sharam aksharam uchete. Shara akshara uchete. That there are two living entities, the akshar, the conditioned soul, and the non-conditioned soul. And above that, he says, Uttama Purushattvanye Paramatmiti Udaritaha. Yo loko trayam avisha bibarti avyaya ishvaraha. Krishna says that above the fallible and infallible souls is the Supreme Lord, the Paramatma, Paramatmiti Udaritaha. Yo loko trayam avisha. And I am sustaining all the various galaxies that the scientists are trying to unravel, the mysteries of our universes. This is one tiny universe in trillions and trillions of universes which are emanating from the bodily pores of a plenary portion of a plenary portion of Lord Balaram, who is an expansion of Lord Krishna. That is our understanding. The Karanadakshay Vishnu, when he breathes out, trillions and trillions of little universes full of Brahma, Shiva, and 33 million demigods are contained. What to speak of all the various Sarva Yonishu Kuntaya Murtaya Sambhavantiya, Tesham Brahma Mahadyunir Aham Bija Pradapita. All the various varieties of living entities come into being, into manifestation, and all are activated. Sarva Bhuteshu Yenaikam Bhavam Avyam Ikshate Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu Tadjnana Satvim Satvikam. That one who sees the soul within all varieties of species of life, one who sees Yenaikam, the one in the many, is actually one who is enlightened. He is in the mode of Vishuddha Sattva, transcendental goodness. So that is only available by Krishna's mercy to try to understand the mysteries of this world and how Krishna creates it, and what our relationship is and what our position is within this world. That can only come by Bhakti Yogena Sevate, Sagudan Samatityaitan, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. When one transcends the modes by engaging in devotional service under the guidance of the great acharyas, the great devotees of the Lord. So we are very fortunate to are receiving this perfect knowledge. Otherwise, Name Vidu Suragana Prabhavam, no one knows. Even the demigods cannot understand Krishna in truth. Bhaktiyastu Ananyaya Shakya Aham Evam Vidurjuna. So Arjuna, ultimately, he was also in this dilemma. What about my relatives? What about my great guru, Dronacharya? He taught me everything. What about my grandfather, Bhishmadev? What about all my relatives? Upadi. Simply misconceptions of life. Krishna, Asochanand Vasochastram. You're speaking like a learned person, but you don't even know who you are. Of course, this is arranged so that everyone for eons and eons of millennia can hear this great treatise of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna speaking the perennial knowledge, the eternal knowledge. So Arjuna, of course, comes to his senses in the 11th chapter. Param Brahm, Param Dham, Papicham Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Shashvatam Devyam, Adi Deva Majam Vibhum. Prior to the 11th chapter, he's explaining, I understand now that Krishna is Param Brahm, Param Dham, Pavicham Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam. He's everything. You name it. Pure, supreme purifier, supreme living being, the supreme shelter of everyone, the original person, of course. Atutvam Rishaya Deva Rishi Naradastata. All the great sages claim this. Asito Devalo Vyaso. All the great sages also claim this. They are the authorities, that you are the Param Brahm, the Param, the Supreme. And yet, Krishna is so inconceivable that he is lying in the lap of Mother Yashoda. He is running in fear from the stick of Mother Yashoda, as we will sing Dhṛtarāṣṭra in a few months. And the great sage is worshipping this stick of Mother Yashoda. That the devotees of the Lord, under the influence of Yoga Maya, they're not concerned about Krishna being Param Brahm, Param Dham, Papicham Paramam Bhavam. They don't care. They have come to the stage of transcendence. Bhaktistu ananyaya shakya aham evam vidorjuna. Without a tinge of material desire, without a tinge of any desire in this world, they become so ecstatic in love with Krishna. Krishna then, by the influence of his Yoga Maya potency, even enacts his transcendental pastimes once in a day of Brahma in each universe. and there's trillions of universes. So the road show is going on, once in a day of Brahma, which is 4,300,000,000 years. And then Krishna goes again with all his associates. The Vedas personified, they want to become gopis. The sages of Naimisharanya, the sages of, the Danda forest, they want to taste this Madhurya Ras that Krishna is having with his gopi friends in Goloka Vrindavan. So they take birth in the family of cowherd men and cowherd women in Vrindavan, very, very Goloka Vrindavan, Gokula Vrindavan, like this. So this is Krishna's mercy. Paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya chaduskritam. But he wants to attract devotees back home, back to Godhead. So he enacts these wonderful pastimes. Demigods also come as various devotees of the Lord. Krishna's son Pradyumna, who is he? He's Kamadev. We read that in the 10th canto, that he's Kamadev, come to enact in Krishna's pastimes. So these wonderful things are attracting the mind of the devotees. Matchita madgata prana bodhayatas parasparam katayanchaschamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. This is the source of great satisfaction and bliss. Happiness is always glorifying Lord Krishna. And we're very fortunate to take birth, in a sense, in the Kali Yuga, because Krishna says, out of compassion, let me appear with the halo of Srimati Radharani, with the flavor of Srimati Radharani, Karunya. She is the most compassionate, more so than Krishna, of course, much more. Radharani is always favoring the devotee. If the devotee surrenders his mind, his words, and his body completely, utterly, surrender to Krishna utterly, then Srimati Radharani's gaze is drawn towards that devotee. And Radharani even says, I'll take even that gopi who Krishna favors, I'll take her by the hand and be her maidservant. And even though it may give me some pain, that pain is the greatest of my pleasure if it pleases Krishna. So devotees of the Lord were being taught how to surrender utterly to the Lord, how to avoid all the various pitfalls on the path of devotional service. Devotional service is not easy. So many obstacles on the path. Described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, described by Rupa Goswami. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpa niyamagra jana sangascha lolyam cha sadvir bhaktir pranashiti. All kinds of pitfalls. The mind, as Arjuna says, chanchala himana Krishna pramati balabad. The mind is always our enemy until we come to the stage of Raganuga Bhakti. Now we're in the stage of Vedi. But until we come to Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous attraction to Krishna, spontaneous desire to chant his holy names. Nayama Galudashraya Vadanam Gadgada Rudaya Gira. When by chanting I can taste the nectar of Krishna's holy name. Until then, Arjuna is very worried also. He's saying, Chanchala himana Krishna pramati balabhadram. The mind is so obstinate, so strong, so chanchal, jumping around here and there. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us, and the acharyas, he's empowering these acharyas like Rupa Goswami to guide us through the battlefield. Just like if you're walking through a minefield, you may step on a mine and blow up yourself. So we're walking through this minefield. Devotees come to the movement. After some time, they become senior devotees. some Pratishta comes. Why don't you bring me some Mahaprasadam? It's 12 o'clock. Raj Bhog time. Bring me the prasad. Forget the other. Like this Pratishta, we have some false pride, some desire for some prestige. Don't you know who I am? I've been distributing Prabhupada's books. I've been opening temples. I made so many devotees. False pride, false prestige. These are all stumbling blocks. They're actually barriers, barricades. They're little bombs, little mines in the minefield. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada quotes him in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We have to avoid, be careful with these different weeds within the heart that come up. And we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're watering the weeds. Instead of the creeper, we're watering all these weeds. Puja. Someone should worship me. They don't respect me enough. They should worship me. Don't they know? Don't they know who I am? I used to cook for Prabhupada. When he came to Philadelphia or when he came to New York, No, in this way, when the Rupa and Sanatan, Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, and he was going through Bengal. So he came to a place called Ramakeli. And Dabir Kash, Rupa Goswami, Sakir Malik, Sanatan Goswami were big ministers in the empire, the kingdom of Hussein Shah, the Muslim emperor. He was there. They were his right-hand men, his ministers, advisors on how to run the kingdom. But when they went to see, they heard Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu had come to Ramakeli. He was followed by thousands and thousands of devotees. And wherever Lord Chaitanya walked, those devotees would take the dust from his lotus feet. There's so much dust being taken, of huge, massive craters were formed along where Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu was walking. So Sanatan and Rupa, they touched their heads to Gauranga Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. They tied their necks with ropes, and they took dirty straw from the ground, put it in their teeth. And that's how they approached Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Trinadapi Sunechena Todoreva Sahishnu. Who are they? They're actually Nitya Siddha. Who is Rupa? Who is Sanatan? We know, we hear from the Ganodisha Dipika by Kavikarna Purna that they are Manjaris assisting Radharani in Goloka Vrindavan. Far away from here, but we can go there. if we we hang on to Prabhupada's lotus feet to his dhoti, maybe he'll drag us there. Of course, kicking and fighting. No, Prabhupada, I want to enjoy this world. I want to enjoy. Somehow I have to enjoy. Yeah, so they approached Gauranga Mahaprabhu like this, very humble. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu, by touching them, he initiated them as Rupa and Sanatan. And when Sanatan Goswami met Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he came to Varanasi. He escaped from the jail. He gave the jailkeeper thousands of gold coins. Thousands. He had so much wealth. We have no idea. They had boatloads of gold. Rupa Goswami gave away a boatload full of gold. Can you do that today? Gold. One little coin now, 2,000 US. Can you imagine? 1 ounce. So Sanatan approached the house, I think, Tapa Mishra. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu said there's a great devotee at the door, but he was looking like a Muslim, like a Malecha, and he was very dirty. And Tapa Mishra said, oh, no, there's no one, no sadhu at the door. Very humble. And then Gauranga Mahaprabhu told him to go to the ghat, take bath. He was given a brand new chadar, a wrapper. When he went to the ghat, he exchanged it for a really old, ratty one. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu was filled with satisfaction when he sees Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga, that Gauranga Mahaprabhu was trying to teach us Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga, Shiksharsham Eka Purusha Purana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari, Kripambudur Yastam Aham Prapadye. This is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the great logician. Lord Chaitanya was saying, this Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who is actually an incarnation of Brihaspati, the, the guru of the demigods of Lord Indra, great personality. But he was involved in logic and reasoning, this Nyaya philosophy, logic and reason, if and then, therefore I am that I am. So, Gauranga Mahaprabhu was enjoying some pastimes after the Rath Yatra parade at a place called Indradumna Sarovar near the Gundicha Mandir. And Sarvabhauma and Ramananda Roy were like little boys splashing each other in the water. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's brother-in-law, Gopinathacharya, tell them to behave like, you know, like grave. They're grave devotees. Why are they behaving so silly? Of course, in Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastimes, there's so much fun and humor. Nityananda and Advaitacharya also splashing each other at this sarovar. And Advaitacharya loses the water fight and he starts cursing Nityananda with bad words. So in Kali Yuga, the Lord and his devotees are very, very merciful. Very, very merciful. They're just forcing us. Just chant these holy names. Just take shelter of the lotus feet of the acharyas. Naisham matistava durukamangrim sprishatya nartagamo yadarta mahiya sampada rajobhisheka. Take bath in the dust from the lotus feet of the great acharyas who are free from all material desire. Why? When you say free from something, that means you're full of something else. The negation of something is the affirmation of something else. Prema, pure prema, Krishna prema, pure love of God. That is what Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Sanata and Rupa and Raghunath, that's what they're giving. This prema. When one sees Krishna everywhere, Yomam Yomam Prashyati Sarvasya Sarvam Chimai Prashyati. One who sees me and everything in me, he is never lost to me, nor I am ever lost to him. So that is the devotee of the Lord. It doesn't matter where he is, heaven or hell. He's seeing Lord Krishna everywhere. Krishna is everywhere. As stated here, the sunlight is everywhere. The Supreme Lord in his Paramatma form, Adantaracha Paramanu Chantra, is everywhere. In the atom, between the atom, in the heart of all living beings. Sarvasichaham Ridishani Vishto. Matasmiti Irganam. You want to remember this? You want to become enlightened? Then you have to follow in under the guidance of the great acharyas given by Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita. Follow in the footsteps. Eat the dust from the lotus feet of those who are free from all desires. Ani hani amanasya. So we are very fortunate that we are now understanding the nature of reality. This is the nature of reality, not this atheistic conclusions. Mogasha moga karmana moga jnana vichesi saha. Atheistic demoniac conclusions that it's very silly to consider that there's some superior being, some supernatural being. I mean, it's a great idea, but we know that one species evolved from another, and then by natural selection on genetic mutation, of course, every year as they discover more inside of the cell, which is so complex, they have no idea. Like Prabhupada said, they'll try to make even one chapati, their brains will perspire from chemicals. So Prabhupada was always strong. These rascal scientists are ruling the world. They're actually misguiding the entire population by their mythology, atheistic mythology. And evil pretensions. One scholar wrote a book, The Evil Pretensions of the Atheists. So they're pretending, they're lying to the people, they're misguiding the people. Because Krishna tells Arjuna, there are two types of human beings in this world. The Devatas and the Danavas, the demoniac. And the whole 16th chapter is dedicated. Asatyam apratishtam te jagadahuranishwaram aparasparam sambhutam kimanyat kamahaitukam aneka chitta vibranta mohajala samavritaha shakta pravameshu that they're like fish caught in a net. Chintam apayamyam cha pralayantam upashitaha. They're full of anxiety. And they think until the end of life they have to enjoy their senses. Therefore, there's no authority. I can do whatever I want. Yashastra vidim utrija vartate kamakar. I just want to do what I want. Forget about God. Who wrote this Bible? Who wrote this Vedas? Hindu mythology? Some guy wrote it. Some fellow wrote it. No, they don't understand that because of this, they will, as Krishna tells Arjuna, that tata pralina stamasa mudho jonisu jayate, that one who dies in the mode of ignorance takes birth amongst the animals. And in the purport, Prabhupada states there that it is a foolish conception to think that after one arrives at the human birth, he cannot go backwards again into the lower species of life. Foolish misconception, Prabhupada says. If one associates with the modes of ignorance, passion and ignorance, then from the mode of ignorance one gets birth in the womb of an animal or less. Maybe a butterfly, if he's lucky. A worm in stool. Who knows? So Krishna is warning about these things in the Bhagavad Gita. So these foolish rascals are misguiding people. Andayatandar upaniyamanas tipishitantriya ubadira gataha. The blind are leading the blind into the ditch of ignorance. So the only solution is the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we are the soldiers of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And soldiers, they have to keep themselves very fit. So we have to keep ourselves spiritually fit every day, every moment, moment to moment, day to day, hour to hour, day to day. Embrace this bhakti yoga process. Embrace attentive chanting of the holy names. Embrace avoidance of the 10 offenses to the holy name. These things have to be embraced on a daily and hourly regimen. In this way, we become strong enough to fight against the influence of the Lord's external energy. Prabhupada says, the sun is there, but there's also the shade. Absence of the sun is shade. The shade has absolutely no, darkness actually has no substance. It's simply and merely the absence of the sun. So Maya's influence upon us is illusory. Jalam tad ubhavaischanam hitvagya jalam kamyaya mrigacishnam upadavet yitanyacha artavdriksvitaha. In the 6th canto is described that the deer is looking outside of the desert, and it sees water. And it's standing right above a natural well covered by grass. And the well is full of water. But he's looking outside. Bahir artamanina. Always looking outside for happiness and pleasure. Mode of passion. Mode of ignorance, right? Rajani etani dayante everyday bharatarshaba. Loba pravitam aramba karmanasamas. Always working hard to get some more sources of pleasure. Oh, look at that. Now they made a Rolls Royce. Here now in Delhi, I was told by someone yesterday, I saw a Rolls Royce in Delhi. Oh, now I'm happy. I have Rolls Royce. Prestige, false prestige, right? Pumsos trio maitani bhavanetam. This is the problem of Rajagun. I get a beautiful wife, I get a beautiful home. No, it has to be more beautiful. Make it of marble, Taj Mahal. And then I have to drive Rolls Royce. Even in India, people are falling into this massive illusion. Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam. Then one is covered and one cannot see. The right inside of themselves is the real water, like the deer. Right there, there's water. Why are you looking in the desert? There's nothing. You're going to starve. You're going to die of thirst. So the souls are dying of thirst in this age of Kali Yuga. They're suffering. There's so much suffering going on in Kali Yuga. Kali dosha nide, right? Ocean of suffering. So our only business, like Prahlad Maharaj says, so chetato vimukatase cheshta artam maya sukhayam varam udvato vimudha. So chetato, my only lamentation is these foolish people, vimukha chetasa. They're bewildered. Their consciousness is covered by the illusion of maya sukhaya, so-called illusion of material happiness. Oh, I can have my own airplane. Now I can own my own airplane. I can fly around this dense, dark material world. And now we can try and go to the moon. Of course, they didn't go to the moon. It's impossible. Chandralok, 94 million miles from here. How are you going to... Prabhupada said even if you go at 18,000 miles per hour, how many millennia, how many millions of it will take to get to the moon planet. So they're rascals. Again, more rascaldom. Yes, yes, we went to the moon. We are the best. America's the best. We walked man on the lies. Always lying, misguiding people. So their only hope is the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Krishna himself, right? God himself walked on the ground around this area, maybe right here. Lotus feet touched this area. These lotus feet are decorated with a gada, conch, kamal, lotus flower, fish, rod for guiding elephant. Oh, he has markings on his lotus feet. Definitely he's walking along the Ganga. We know that. We know he was having big nocturnal kirtan at Shiva Sangha. God himself. What more do we want? God himself come very humble also. He sat where the Mayavadis were washing their feet when he went to Varanasi. Sitting there, and Prakashananda Sarasvati was saying, oh, these Vaishnavas, they're so emotional. Just sentimental. No. Krishna Prema is a scientific, ecstatic experience of the heart. The soul is aspiring to love. And the object of love is Krishna. And the abode of love is the devotee. Yeah? Prayojana. How does it go? To understand one's relationship, to act in the relationship, and then to taste the fruit of love of God. Abhideya. What's the next one? Sambandha. Abhideya. And then Prayojana. And that is what is being given to us. Gauranga Mahaprabhu saying, take it, the great acharyas, the Goswamis, and all the acharyas in our disciplic line, in our party. They take love of God, simply chant Hare Krishna, and relish prasadam. Wherever Lord Chaitanya went with his devotees, when he was having wonderful kirtan at the Aitota Gardens near Gundicha Mandir, then Maharaj Prataparuja was told, bring prasad, lots of prasadam. They're about to celebrate Hira Panchami festival, which is about round the corner, right? 5 days after. Hira Panchami, 5 days after the Rath Yatra procession, I believe. Is that correct? There, so much prasadam was prepared for all the devotees of the Lord. And so devotees were in such ecstasy. So Prabhupada said, chanting, dancing, and enormous amounts of prasadam will purify the whole world. When Mayor Dali met Prabhupada, or Chief Inspector Dali of Chicago. Chicago is a very, very demoniac place, by the way. Oh, Chicago, whoa, no. Very demonic, very difficult to make devotees in Chicago. So everyone, of course, was amazed. Srila Prabhupada is attracting all these degraded boys and girls, Americans, very degraded, lower than malechas. How are you doing it? How are you converting them? We can't do it. All the priests couldn't understand. Why? Why you come to this Swami? What does he have? No one knows him. Unknown person. What's this Hinduism? So the chief of police in Chicago, huge crime problem. Murder every day. Someone getting murdered. And Prabhupada said, you simply give me a large building and I will prepare foodstuffs, prasadam, and by this consumption of prasadam and Sankirtan Yagya, your whole city will become purified. Can you do it? Are you willing to commit? Can you supply me a nice big warehouse? Oh yes, we'll try. Never materialized. But when we got the temple in Detroit, that whole area was crime-ridden. It's a very low area, very degraded area, lots of crime, murder, everything. But once the temple was established in Detroit, right, Prabhu? Then devotees were distributing prasadam to all the neighbors, mainly African Americans like myself. And the crime rate was eliminated. The whole area became very gentrified, as they say over there. Gentrification of a slum because of the Sankirtan Yagya and the distribution of wonderful Krishna prasadam. So these are the weapons of Lord Chaitanya. This weapon, secret weapon, prasadam and kirtan. They don't know. Oh, they're attracted. People are attracted to the dancing and chanting. Oh, I met a lawyer one time in Vancouver where I was living. And we used to chant right downtown in front of the courthouses, massive area where all Supreme Court, this court, that court, and we would chant there every day, distribute prasadam. So after a while, of course, it died out for a while, and this lawyer who I was meeting, she said, where are you guys? All us lawyers, at lunchtime we would come out and we sit and have our lunch and we would watch you guys dancing. He said it was the best thing of the whole downtown. Everywhere else is just guys in suits running around chasing money, doing stocks and bonds, materialistic environment. So we loved it. It was so satisfying. It was so invigorating to see people dressed in, these robes chanting Hare Krishna on, downtown city, downtown America. But that's what people are very attracted. One time, a famous guy named Stevie Wonder, famous American singer, he was driving past in Los Angeles in an area where devotees chant called Westwood. And he stopped his limousine. And Agni Dev was chanting Hare Krishna. And ecstatic, ecstatic kirtan. And this famous guy, Stevie Wonder, he sent his servant, go and what is this about? He's actually blind, but he has good hearing and he's made wonderful, very popular music. So he took the devotees to his music studio and they recorded Hare Krishna Mahamantra and he put it in an album. He made a whole album, Songs from the Secrets of Life, the name of his album. And we used to sometimes distribute with books, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So very, very attractive, very attractive. These are wonderful preaching stories of wonderful miracles that happen all over the world when we, as Lord Chaitanya's soldiers, go out there and push back the agent of Kali Yuga, all the agents of Kali Yuga. Demoniac scientists, they're the worst. Prabhupada was always targeting the atheistic scientists, politicians. These are leaders, people look up to them, but they are driving everyone into the ditch of ignorance and darkness, unfortunately. So, whatever background you're from, Prabhupada is making us preachers. He's Brahmin. Samadhamma tapasocham shanti rajamamayivacha. Simple life, no big desire, just simply preaching and distributing the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Mayapur, all glories to the devotees of the Lord. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hari Hari. Any comment, question? We have a couple of minutes. Maybe push it over. Rules are meant to be bent, not broken.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, when I think about back to Godhead, so I have a couple of questions. Like in this material world, we have different senses. We can recognize everyone. We have hands, taste, smell, everything. So, let's say by the God mercy, if a chance to go back to spiritual world, so how I am...
Speak really slowly. Your accent, my accent, don't... Okay. They're not synchronizing. Okay. So when we go back to the spiritual world...
Yeah. So by Lord mercy, so how I am going to recognize everyone, because I won't have this material body. I will have the spiritual soul, right? The spirit soul, Jivatma. So how I am going to recognize everyone, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the Jivatmas, all my spiritual masters, the devotees, and how I am going to offer obeisance and dance kirtan and eat Krishna prasadam. So these are the queries in my mind, like what we will do in the spiritual world.
The soul has a dormant body. The soul has senses. So as one goes through the various stages, adoshada, tata, sadhusanga, and on to come to bhava, then prema, that body manifests more and more. So you manifest a spiritual body with spiritual senses, everything. Of course, they're probably interchangeable. They're not like our senses. So in the spiritual world, I mean, it's described that talking is singing. You can always hear Krishna's flute playing. You're always, even the Chintamani ground is conscious of Krishna. The trees, Kalpavriksha, they're offering whatever you want to serve Krishna with, they supply. Not just fruit, not just one mango. Give so many things. Incredible variety of diversity of opulence there in Goloka Vrindavan. And you're conscious only of Krishna as a Supreme Lord. Everyone is in love with Krishna. Krishna is the cynosure of everyone's focus. He is the center, he is the cynosure. Everyone's how to please Krishna, how to assist other devotees to please Krishna, because Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor, Dasa Das, Anudas. We derive more pleasure from helping others connect to Krishna. So it's unlimited varieties, and the spiritual lotus flower, the world is always expanding, constantly expanding. Even Krishna, he said, I don't understand myself. My opulences are always expanding. Even Krishna doesn't know himself completely. because he's eternally and unlimitedly, that is the dynamic nature of Satchit Ananda. So you're there and you're in one of your original Swarup. You may be a plant, or you may be a tree, or you may be a cow. Something, you have your original Swarup. But it doesn't matter because everyone is assisting. Those who are assisting are ultimately up to Radharani. Everyone trying to please Radha and Krishna. So anyone that says, "Oh no, you Gaudiya Vaishnava, we're all gopis," I don't understand how that. I don't see that in Rupa Goswami's teachings. I don't want to get controversial, but the four major rasas are there: Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, Dasya. And it's described by Rupa Goswami. Raktak, Pachaka, different types of cowherd boys. Different types of parental affection is there, and so on. So that's all there in the spiritual world. And of course, Vaikuntha is different because they know he's God. So that sense of, that ocean of love of God, that flowing river of love, is a little bit, obscured by this awe and veneration. It's compromised by the awe and veneration. Well, he's God. I'm not worried. He'll find a meal somewhere. That's not Mother Yashoda. She's like, I have to get the best milk, so I have to feed the cows the best grass. And then that milk will be so sweet for my son. That's Mother Yashoda. When she sees Krishna coming home from herding all the cows, her eyes start filling with tears as she sees her son. That's the Supreme Personality of God. That's Krishna. Prema. She's full of prema, as in a parental, motherly affection. That's her Swarup. That's her Nitya Swarup, you see. So we all have some Swarup. We don't, Prabhupada. Someone asked Prabhupada about what's my Swarup. You haven't even come to, you haven't even, what are you talking about? First, control your mind a little bit. Try to follow the basic rules and regulations. No, you have no business trying to, what is my Swarup? That is far away. Eons of galaxies away. You see? But it's available. And Prabhupada said we should try to perfect our life in one lifetime. Develop this prema. So prema bhakti is available. There's many stages. At least try to become more and more spontaneous in our service to Krishna. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu said, you string the pearls of the holy name on the strand of Trinadapi Sunichena Tarori Vasahishnuna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari. That is the advice given by Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That's what we always have to remind ourselves. Wait a minute, I've been a head pujari here. I'm the president of Ghaziabad. I'm here in Mayapur now, so pay attention. No. That is a pitfall. We want Krishna Prema. We want the mercy of Prabhupada. We want the mercy of Krishna. We have to keep beating the mind with shoes and the stick, right? In the morning, shoes, the evening is Bhaktisiddhanta telling us. Mind means ego, means lusty intelligence, like Maharaj Puranjana. Yeah, the lusty. His wife was the lusty intelligence, and the ego, the big ego, false pride, false prestige, false this, false that. Who am I? If you think you're a brahmachari, think I'm a big sannyasi. Already you're in an upadi. You're an illusion. It's an illusion. I'm a humble servant of the servants of the servant. Even Bhaktisiddhanta would offer his obeisances to his own disciples. He's the greatest scholar, the greatest personality. He's Ray of Vishnu, sent by Lord Chaitanya to rejuvenate this movement and order Srila Prabhupada to cross the ocean. And pow, the whole thing exploded. One person. ray of Vishnu, and then Srila Prabhupada. Boom! Huge explosion. Someone wrote a book, The Hare Krishna Explosion. They couldn't imagine. Everywhere they went, there were Hare Krishnas. And when Prabhupada in America, everywhere they went, Hare Krishna. You guys are everywhere. There's only a couple thousand of us. We were everywhere. Public places distributing the holy name. Great enthusiasm, because Srila Prabhupada is so inspiring. Such a great personality, so powerful. The Krishna Prema is very powerful, the love of God. You see him, you become inspired to just run out. I have to give this gift to someone. Prabhupada said they have given their lives to me. They have sacrificed their whole lives for me, because his god brother was criticizing them. Oh, sometimes I see they eat with the left hand, pick up chapati with the left hand. What? They're milechas. We were a little bit undertrained. I remember we were in Gaudiya Math in Puri in 1970 something, and one brahmachari, he picked up chapati, or Americans, they freaked right out. The sannyasi just went crazy. What happened? Oh, he picked up the chapati with his left hand. So Prabhupada said they're not well trained in the Vedic etiquette, the Vedic culture, but they've sacrificed their life for me. We'd do anything for Srila Prabhupada. That was the whole atmosphere, the whole mood. Anything. Kamikaze pilots. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.